They have no idea hell, a lot of people in AEW, including Tony Khan, doesn't know what makes a good storyline. What they consider a good storyline is like, it's not a storyline. It's an angle with a couple promos and a finish.
It's not
and a great match. Story. The athleticism. That's another thing too I've noticed about AEW. I've been watching it more consistently lately. I know everybody puts it off. Oh, the wrestling's so much better. I got news for you. Out of a 2-hour show, let's just say there's 100 minutes of actual in-ring. That's being kind, probably closer to 90. Let's say there's 90 minutes of in-ring action. About 70 minutes is, that's okay. About 10 minutes of it, 15 minutes of it is kind of embarrassing. Like, these people should not even be on television. Who did this? These are people that would be 6 months or 3 months into a power plant cycle in WCW. They're not ready for prime time at all, but they're out there. And then you've got a good percentage of wrestling that's just pretty good. And then you've got a smaller percentage that's like, wow, these guys are really phenomenal athletes. They may not have a good story. They may not have any psychology. They may not have a lot of other things that are required to be really good wrestling. But the athleticism itself, the match, if all you care about is a match and you're not really invested in what the characters are doing or how good the characters are, and you don't even know, because you just don't know what makes a good storyline, about 20%, maybe 30% of AEW is really good wrestling. But for the most part, I remember episodes of WCW Saturday Night back in the early 90s that had a lot better wrestling than I see on AEW.
I totally agree. And I was actually talking to somebody from AEW, and they were saying they wish the matches were shorter so that more of the guys could get on TV, because there'll be times when you don't see a guy for 3 weeks on TV and he just pops back in. So I was like, that's true too. Sometimes the matches are too long.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. And on paper, that kind of makes sense. But just giving, more people more TV time is not creating better characters and better stories. People will remember great stories and great characters, whether those are in 15-minute matches or 6-minute matches. If the characters are strong, they're compelling, the story behind it is interesting, the length of time doesn't matter. And the flip side of that is just putting people on TV isn't getting them over. That's a joke. That's an indie-rific way of looking at things. Oh, if I just had some more TV time. Yeah, but if you don't take advantage of that television time and you're not connecting with the audience in that television time, because, your creative is really weak, which is true in AEW 90% of the time. If your creative is weak, your character isn't really well defined, and you have no relationship with the audience, I don't care how many times they put you out on TV, you're not going to get over. And neither is the product.
If you weren't involved with the business, would you watch AEW? Like you said, you've been watching it. Would you continue to watch it? Let's just say as a fan, or no, it's not for
you? No. And that's not, that's not a criticism of the AEW product, although I just got done criticizing it. But and that's one of the reasons why I look so objectively hard at AEW, because I'm looking for things that illustrate to me or indicate to me that somebody's recognizing what they need to fix. Example, if I see, and this is what I'm not seeing in AEW, but if I see a unique way of doing backstage interviews, not like we did them in 1992, which is what I see today in AEW. It's the same old, I'm here, I'm Tony Schiavone, and I'm standing here, and to my right is, and then it's a promo, and then it's a run-in, or it's a reaction from whoever the host, whoever's holding the mic. God almighty, we've been watching that narrative, that form of, because that's all it is. It's a way to advance storyline using dialogue. It's not a physical dialogue like we see in a match. That hopefully tells a story. More often than not, it doesn't, but hopefully it does. And then you've got the play-by-play and color commentary, which is another narrative, okay? That's dialogue. And then you've got the talent when they get the opportunity to do things in the ring or to do things backstage. That's another narrative. But when you've got talent that doesn't understand, first of all, they don't really have a story, so that makes it hard. Secondly, they're going out there and they're doing the same thing, the same way it's been done since whenever, the 80s. It's just not interesting. It's a beer buzzer, meaning you see those things coming up. It's like, this is okay. I'm going to go get a beer. I'll be back in 3 minutes, right? I don't need to watch this because you're not getting anything new or different or interesting or compelling. The 99 times out of 100, you're not. Once in a while, you do. And that's across the board too. That's WWE does the same thing. And it's just, somebody's going to figure that out one day.